Hi. For my topic for the discussion board post 6, Legacy of Thomas Jefferson, I'll be talking about, obviously, Thomas Jefferson's legacy. Thomas Jefferson was the third president of the United States, and more than that, he had a number of life accomplishments that I think were really important to his legacy. First of all, he was in addition to being the third president of the United States, he was also the author of the Declaration of Independence. In addition to this, he was also one of its signers. The Declaration of Independence was, of course, the document that was written in 1776 and sent to the King of England, declaring the independence of the 13 British colonies of North America from the British Empire. So I think that's one of his most important accomplishments. And it really says a lot about his character. He authored a bill for establishing religious freedom in 1777, which stated that no man should be forced to worship or obey a particular religion, or lack thereof, but that they should be free to profess and argue and maintain their opinion in matters of religion, and that their civil capacity should not be damaged for said opinions. In other words, you could believe whatever you wanted, and that you shouldn't suffer any civil penalties for doing so. That conscience was completely free. This document, even though it was presented to Congress in 1779, was considered so radical, and his ideas were considered so radical, that the bill was actually cast down. So it was not approved. So his views on religion were very liberal for his time. In one of his most famous acts of his personal faith and philosophy, he is known for cutting out the pages. He is known for cutting out the words of Jesus from a Bible and pasting them in order, in the words they appear in the gospel, in the order they appear in the gospel, in a blank book to create what he called the philosophy of Jesus. So I thought that was a particularly interesting tidbit of information about him and his legacy that I managed to come across. He also came up with the idea of church and state, which actually does not appear in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. Even though most people think that it has legal force in the United States, it actually does not, because it was never included in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. It comes from a letter he wrote to a Virginia Baptist convention and does not actually have any legal force in the United States, despite its frequent recitation in public schools and courtrooms. So next time someone tells you that there's such a thing as church and state in the United States, just tell them it's not true, because it's not. Thomas Jefferson also led the United States in the Barbary Wars, which were a series of naval wars against the Islamic states of the Islamic Barbary states in North Africa in the early 1900s. So in addition, the effects of this war were that the United States was able to protect its merchant shipping in the Mediterranean, and that the Barbary pirates had to agree to leave the American ships alone. It also resulted in the creation of the United States Navy and a permanently standing Navy, so I thought that was particularly interesting. Thomas Jefferson was also the founder of the University of Virginia, and his tombstone proclaims it, along two others, as being one of his most important life achievements. He was also responsible for the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled America's current area at the time. This was in 1803. He also was responsible for sending the Lewis and Clark expedition, which explored it. His other life achievements include serving in the Virginia House of Burgesses, serving as a magistrate and a county lieutenant, and serving as a Secretary of State under George Washington in 1790. So, even without the controversial aspects of his legacy, such as slavery, for example, he was a very, very important member of American history, and his legacy is one that can be still felt even here today, in many ways. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I look forward to reading your comments on it.